So, where are you headed? Not the talkative type, eh? That's okay. Most people I pick up are just waiting for their turn to talk. Want a raisin? They're from my farm. Sure. California still farms more raisins than anywhere on Earth. Go ahead. Those are Thompson seedless raisins. Delicious. You don't look so good. Guess those things don't agree with you yet. You want to know the clearest evidence that reality isn't real? Raisins and grapes, man. They're the same thing, but they taste disgusting when eaten together. Obvious bug in the program there, right? Memory is a slippery thing. Think about when somebody asks you about this ride later, assuming you even know where you're going, and get someplace where somebody can ask you. Hey, how'd you get here anyway? They'll ask you. Oh, I hitched. And your brain will flash back for a second when you say this. And it'll show you a frozen snapshot of yourself, sitting in this car, talking to me like we are right now. But which moment will it actually show you? Will it be this one? Or this one? Or this one? We think we remember how people really were, how our lives together really were. But when we think back to them, even the people we cared about the most, all we're doing is snatching moments out of the air. Just grabbing another raisin out of the box. My wife. She's dead now, but you probably guessed that. Takes one to know one, right? I can always spot someone who's grieving along this highway. They usually stand on the road with a dazed look on their face and their thumb up in the air. Young guy like you, I wouldn't have a clue. My wife, if I'm totally honest with you, I don't really remember what she looked like. Remember everything about her, just not her face. Some people have faces that are easy to remember. Doesn't seem fair. Well, it's not as easy as you think. I'll give you an example. You think you're present in the moment? You've been talking to me for a few minutes now. What color are my eyes? Yep, not bad. But that's just your photographer's eye. Just figured from your gear. A lot of photographers carry that backpack. Tell you what, Anselad. Do me a favor and close the window, would you? That's better. Now, where were we? Yeah, fair number. But after a while, you start seeing the same few archetypes over and over. You got the numbnuts Kerouac fans. You got your autodidact blowhards. They'll talk your ears off. You got a lot of people from Cincinnati for some reason. You got your deadheads trying to get to some concert someplace. And then there's the water bottle person, always worrying that they're going to run out of water before they get where they're going. Still, you're the first hitcher I ever picked up who doesn't have a destination. Copernicus. Well, seems like the right name for a guy who's traveling the world without knowing where he's going. You just sit back, Copernicus, and invent a language where false statements are impossible. What? Oh, I stand corrected. You know, when I was a kid, my brother and I used to drive our parents crazy on long drives like this. Our folks wouldn't let us listen to the radio in the car. So we used to make up these songs about food on long drives to pass the time. We had this one with about 30 verses, each about a different kind of grain. There was this one time when we passed a billboard for this new kind of bread, challah bread. In hell they have a hell a lot of challah bread. In hell they have a hell a lot of challah bread. In hell they have a hell a lot of challah bread. In hell they have a hell a lot of challah bread. Oh yeah, that drove Mom and Dad crazy. Come on, join in. In hell they have a hell a lot of challah bread. In hell they have a hell a lot of challah bread. In hell they have a hell a lot of challah bread. In hell they have a hell a lot of challah bread. Actually, I'm beginning to understand my parents' perspective. Getting older's funny. It's like reading a book where less and less happens, but the writing gets better and better. You got that right, kid. Let me tell you, getting old is... is no picnic. What you got there? Just a matchbook, huh? I figured it must have been something important. Because the window is still closed. So, where were we? Yeah. We used to have a strict division of labor back when we worked together. She would raise the grape from the time it appeared on the vine, and I'd step in as soon as it was time to start drying them. Our customers used to have fun with that. I'm the dry one, they'd say. Grapes attract a certain kind of person. A person who likes to tell jokes. Wine enthusiasts, tourists, people who like to talk. There's a photo in that glove box there of us, standing in front of our trailer. It was in a magazine. One of those stories about vanishing farmers that always pulls heartstrings with the rest of the country. It's a nice photo. The photographer caught a certain look, an expression she used to have, like she could see something barely out of sight for the rest of us. Here, pop open the glove box and I'll show you what I mean. Hey, where'd you get that? That's not her. And that guy there, he looks like you. I don't know. I was going to ask you the same question, Copernicus. Did he... Who gave this to you? Well, I guess it belongs to you. You'd better hold on to it. What? What woman? Well, oh, her. Well, hard to say. I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. What's that black thing in the glove box, anyway? See anything interesting there? A windmill, eh? No idea. Say, want to hear a joke? Why did the raisin take the prune to the dance? He couldn't get a date. Hey, that reminds me. It's almost 4:30. You'll like this. It's my favorite. I once knew the hostess, Darlene. She used to change the tires on my truck on Highway 51.
Welcome to another Interstate Riddle Hour. Here's our first riddle. Keep your eyes peeled, all you blacktop carpetbaggers. I fly, yet I have no wings. I cry, yet I have no eyes. Darkness follows me. Lower light I never see. Very good. Here's our next one. A gatekeeper forever bound. He opens and shuts with a similar sound. Very good.
I don't know why I listen to this every day. Damn questions are rigged. I never get them.
Says the guy who never knew what pressure to keep his tires at.
Hey!
Having fun? Want to keep going? Okay, let's go to our final riddle then. He lies without touching the ground.
Oh, come on, Darlene.
Need some help? He lies without touching the ground.
Damn it, Darlene. I should have tipped her better when she changed the tires. She's been out to get me ever since. Look, she isn't being straight with you, kid.
Check the photo, Copernicus. The photo in your bag. Then you'll see. She's in trouble, Copernicus. You must help her.
Things like that happen all the time on this highway. It's nothing to lose your scrunchie over.
Riddle Hour has now ended. I've helped you all I can this time. So long, Copernicus.
Kid, I am sorry about your girlfriend. But I had nothing to do with it. It's just the opposite. I was sent to protect you. From yourself. You picked this car every bit as much as I chose to stop for you. You picked this car, picked me, not to feel anything. Kid, just let it go. There's nothing for you down that road. Nothing but hurt. Look, I admit I lied. But only about one thing. Yeah, we've met. Twice, in fact. Sure. You showed up at my trailer park taking photos. At first, I was a bit suspicious, since there were plans to kick us out and develop the trailer park into some kind of shopping center. But then it became clear that you'd been sent here by a magazine to do one of those stories about vanishing farmers that always pulls heartstrings with the rest of the country. The woman in the photo? No, I didn't actually meet her. I just know what you told me about her. She was backpacking around Europe without you. And you? You weren't taking it so well. Kid, I told you, you don't want to go down that road. Well, what's that they say in that Tom Cruise movie? The one where he's a bartender? Everything ends badly, or it wouldn't end at all? I wasn't afraid of the truth either, back then. My wife, when she got the x-rays, when she knew, she decided to spare my feelings. Didn't tell me anything. Hid the x-rays in one place I'd never suspect, because it was so obvious. Stayed closed until today, until you came along. I wish it was that simple, kid. Hey, Chief, why don't you have a look here? He appeared on this highway about the same time you did. I guess he's part of what you're running from. Not sure. You can't see him directly. He only shows up in mirrors, windows, pictures. Well, we haven't talked yet about the second time we met. That's the thing. It's a little hard to explain. Better if I just take you there. It's just a quick detour. We'll be there in a minute. A man travels along a road until he reaches a gate at the top of a hill. The road has been long and straight so far, and the going has been easy. But now the man can't go any further, so he takes a seat by the road to rest. The man waits, and after a length of time that seems neither short nor long, the gate opens, and a guard appears. The man asks the guard for entry, but the guard says he cannot let him enter at the moment. The man thinks for a second and asks if he will be allowed through later. It is possible, says the guard, but not now. The gate now stands slightly open, and the man tries to look through it longingly. His journey has been easy so far, and he misses the feeling of the open road. The guard notices and laughs. Even if you could gain entry, there are many gatekeepers after me. Some are much stronger than me, and I'm afraid to look upon them. So there the man waits, for days, months, years, waiting to enter. One day, when he's given up hope of entering, a single question occurs to him, one he has not thought of before. Why, he wonders aloud, are there no other travelers along this road? All these years, no one but myself has waited in front of this gate. The answer to this question comes from a voice near his shoulder. It is you who made this gate, says a bird perched nearby. So it exists for no one but you. But why? Asks the traveler. Why would I choose to stop here? The bird answers after hungrily eating a crust of bread from the man's hand. After this point, the road becomes less straight. It splinters like the tree in which I live, splitting into dozens, hundreds of branches. The path becomes impossibly narrow and frail, and crowded with the view of other paths one could have taken. There's only one point ahead on the road where all paths converge, where all points join, where the light shines through skin and through lies. But it's never been reached by one of your kind, a traveler who walks on feet. Shoo! Cries the guard, chasing the bird away. Don't listen to his nonsense. Having said this, he takes a seat next to the traveler, but not before closing the gate forever. So when you think about it, who knows how long we've been sitting here, just like this, on this road. Take it from me. It's better to face things with, what's it called again? Fortitude. Better not to feel too much. Want a raisin? See? You're getting used to them. Life is like a box of raisins. That's some Forrest Gump type wisdom for you right there. Here, I'll leave the box open for you. Help yourself. Look, hooded crows all along this road. I have to chase these for my farm every harvest. They look hungry. Didn't get much peck out of this last harvest. Look. Look. Hooded crows all along this road. I have to chase these for my farm every harvest. You don't want to do that, kid. These birds are unpredictable. There's no telling what they'll do once they start swarming. Get enough of these crows together and it's big trouble. You're making a mistake, kid. You don't know where they're taking you. Look, I'll help you. I'll help you figure out what happened when she came back from Europe. Look, I get that you're mad. And I don't blame you. But you don't know what's out there, kid. What other drivers on this road are like. Stay with me, and things will play a whole lot safer. All right, I guess you made your choice. Don't blame me for what happens next. Now you've done it. They've taken control of the car. I don't know, Copernicus. Why don't you ask them? We're at my farm, Copernicus. I had a funny feeling the moment you looked through those binoculars. Well, they're pulling us around in circles. They're afraid of the scarecrows I put up here last summer. They want to take us, take you, I suppose, to that windmill in the middle. You need to rotate the scarecrows. See if you can find something in this car that might do the trick. That's it, kid. Now, more of the same. Almost there. That's it, kid. I think it's for you. They have a way of leaving gifts once you've fed them. Often something shiny or a piece of string.
I'm going away for 2 months. I'll be back before you know it. It's practically a cliche. Going to Europe to have new experiences, and yeah, it's corny, but maybe find myself.
I guess I'm just worried that you'll find yourself but lose me along the way.
I'll be back before you know it, promise. Here's a security deposit.
What a weird box. Did you win this at the circus?
It's great, right? I'll send you something special from Europe to put inside, so you know I'm thinking of you. And then we have our road trip together when I get back. You won't miss me anyway. You have plenty to keep you busy, like that job in California. The story about the
vanishing grape farmers. You're right. I'm worrying too much. I love it. Does it lock?
In some other world, it must, but not here. Okay, trade you a memory box for your Polaroid. Say cheese.
Well, now that you know how it started, it doesn't make the next step any easier, does it? Listen, I disapprove of just about every choice you've made on this trip. But I like you, kid, and I can see you've made up your mind. If you want to find your girlfriend, if you want to find out what happened, if you really want to go there, you've got to find that box. I don't know, kid. But find that box and the key. Open the box before it's too late. Well, this is where I say goodbye. Unless you want to help transport 4 bushels across... Nah. Just remember, there are many more gates ahead and many more guards. I'm pretty much the friendly drunken uncle of the bunch. Well, good luck to you, kid. Oh, one more thing. What did the grape say when he got run over by the car? Nothing. He just gave a little whine. Good luck with your search.
It's the second house on the right here. No, wait, the third.
Don't you remember where it is? I thought you spent your whole childhood here.
Do you know what put us on top of the food chain? Do you know? And please, don't say opposable thumbs. Plenty of animals have those. Possums, koalas, something called the waxy monkey leaf frog. They're nothing special. Forget about thumbs, okay? Memory is what put us here. So many of our dreams are set in the places where we used to live. We want to see them, visit them again. There should be a rule, a kind of a social convention. The old apartment rule. It works like this. We can show up any place we used to live and simply explain, oh, I used to live here. There's nothing strange about it. The people who live there just throw open their doors and invite us in to have a look around. So we can go back home again. So we can be whole. Hey, are you keeping an eye out? Oh dear. I didn't mean to put you to sleep with my talking. We're looking for Asper Street. At least it used to be called that. The problem is that a few years ago they rearranged all the letters of the street signs in this neighborhood. Very impractical. I didn't catch your name. Time hops. Yes, that's what everyone calls me. Everyone except my students, of course. Just a second. Let's find this Asper Street, please, before we begin our inquiries. Like I say, they might have rearranged the letters a bit. Ah, yes, that's it. Very good. So, we're on our way. Now, there was something you wanted to ask. Well, what can I say? I like to hold on to things. Always give yourself the option to look back. That's what I say. Keep your eye on the rearview mirror. You, my friend, should know that best of all. Oh, yes. We've all met you along this highway. I picked you up because I could tell you're looking for something. Something you've lost. Now, we're all looking for something on this road. I've never met anyone who wasn't. My dog. Well, she's been missing for a long time now. Hops, like me. Stupid idea, naming a dog after yourself. They constantly think they're being trained. Every time someone you know stops you in the street. Made her a little bit high-strung. So, Vern mentioned this problem you have with a photo. Vern? Sure. Now, I know almost everybody on this road. Well, there's not many of us after all. Excellent raisins that guy Vern has. Did you try one? Delicious, am I right? So, okay, show me this photo. So, you're looking for her. What happened to her? Well, I can help you with one part. You two came by my house, yes? See, that's my silo, there in the background. Well, there was some kind of an argument. I invited you two in and put the kettle on the stove. You never wound up making it through the front door. She suddenly had to take a call. You got impatient. I don't know, but you didn't seem happy about it. I had the feeling it was a recurring thing. Someone who's in the habit of getting in the way between you two. If you want to know what happened to her, why don't you just ask her yourself? You haven't asked me yet where we're headed. The warehouse of lost things. Impressed? Oh, yes. Vern said you were pretty funny. Oh, okay. It's this warehouse that contains everything you've ever lost in your life. You can find anything there, even feelings, but you only get 15 minutes to look. Yes, only 15 minutes. It really threw me the last time I was there. I got distracted by some mittens. Yeah, I had as a kid. Left them at a bus stop sometime in the mid-60s. After that, my parents bought those things that clip your mittens to your coat so it wouldn't happen again. Well, why not? Shamanic tribes of the Amazon believe that in order to heal, you have to journey into the other world, find the thing you've lost among the spirits, and bring it back. Now, and to think about all the things we misplace. Atlantis, huh? And we lost an entire city once. Why shouldn't we get a second chance just to go back and retrieve some of the things we've left behind? Now, if I remember correctly, it's only about another 20 minutes from here. Peculiar. It's nothing. Just wondering about this green light. Are you one of these people who's good with cars? I was hoping you might know. I never saw it before until you got into the car. A car manual? Oh no, that's not the sort of book I keep in here. I'm a humanities teacher. No, I think we'll wait to find a mechanic someplace. Perhaps that part-time quiz show hostess. Ah, the green light. The epic sense of man's urgency. The future that keeps receding from us. Yes, I suppose you've read The Great Gatsby, too. It's probably nothing major, just a reminder to get something checked. But what do I know? I'm not the technical sort. Oh, we could ask Lola. Well, she's very good with these things. Probably not, young man. Lola's a kind of oracle. Now, she's given me lots of good advice, right from where you're sitting. Besides, more to the point, I'd like to check with her about directions, just to make sure we're pointed the right way. See if you can find her here. Well, she's quite small, you see. A toy bear. Now, I found her at the World's Fair in Barcelona, 1929. At an exhibition about Lola Montez. Well, she's somewhere in this car now. Feel free to rummage around as much as you need. Just have a look, please, at that stuff on the floor and see if you can locate her. What have you got there? Interesting. Looks familiar. There she is. Ah, Lola. Put her on the glove box lid, my boy. That's where she likes to speak. Yes, sometimes directly, sometimes in more of a roundabout way. Lola, dearest, now I'm here with this young fellow here, and well, the warehouse. Now, it's left up here on Concord Avenue, right? she's not ready to talk yet. She's lonely, and she misses her friends. Fellow memory objects. That's her preferred company. Trinkets like her, lost and found many times over the years, imbued with the memories of everyone who's ever claimed them as their own. Get enough of them together, and things start to get interesting. The present moment peels back like wallpaper to reveal the past behind it and the future ahead. Her and her friends, yes. She's very good. She even remembers my dog's names. Well, it depends on how many are missing at any given time. Currently, Hops is the only one who's out of pocket. She's been gone for almost 9 months. I'd very much like to find her. Well, no, I couldn't look for her these last months. I got a bit detained. Yes, it all started when I was buying some tubes. I was on the escalator, trying to leave the mall. Do you ever have that thing where you buy something and you know it's the right thing, but you start worrying about it just as you're leaving? I was staring at the socks, wondering if they were the right length. Now, I knew they were, but I must have not been paying attention, because suddenly I slipped down that crack at the end of the escalator, right where you're supposed to step off. Yes, exactly the thing kids are always worrying about, getting sucked down the escalator. Well, first quite quickly, and then very slowly. Before you know it, you're banging around in this chute, and then you land at the bowling green. That's what they call the entrance. That's a little area with some onboarding materials and that fake grass carpeting, so the landing isn't so rough. It's the most fantastic place. Under the escalator, just vast. Like falling out of bed and landing on the moon. Oh, no. There are other people there, but not much good for company. Everyone's just waiting to get out. Very poserish scene down there, let me tell you. A lot of staged ennui. Oh, not much, really. There's an old black and white TV that only gets a few channels. There are some old board games just lying around, but they're all missing pieces and instructions. There was one box that promised 8 games in one. Now, but I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to play a single game. A couple of decks of cards, all incomplete. I must have dreamt 20 times that I found the 4 of clubs. Well, they open the escalator every year on January 1st to clear everyone out. They used to do it more often, but then, well, yep, budget cuts. I fell in the beginning of April, one of the last cold weekends of the year. Really tough thing to get your head around, being trapped in there almost a whole calendar year. Pretty much the only thing that passes for excitement there is when somebody new drops in. Pretty quickly, you learn to tell the difference between the real people and the mannequins they drop down the chute. Sure. Well, that's how they keep everyone fed down there. They stuff mannequins full of food and supplies, put them on the escalator, and just let them slide down the chute. Oh, that's a big moment when they drop the mannequins down. Really breaks up the monotony. Everyone rushes over to tear the mannequin apart, to get their hands on the food inside. Oh, indeed. But I guess it's the easiest way to get the food to slip down the crack. Now, one time, a real guy fell down the shaft and was mistaken for a mannequin. Now, he was half torn to shreds before I pulled him out of there. Poor fella didn't look lifelike enough. Oh, yes. He was really quite beside himself. Now, he gave me his pipe as a token of appreciation for saving him from the mob. Well, I still keep it in my pocket. Oh, look. Let's give it to her place. Let's see if she's feeling more sociable. Lola, dear, are you feeling more chatty now? She says her tea party is still missing 2 guests. You see, we just need to find 2 more of her friends. Of course. My audiobook about the Gulag makes perfect sense. Only one more object to find now. Oh, well, it's something I used to play for her in the car an awful lot. There was this one story she used to adore. Oh, here's a fellow who's eager to get to the bottom of things. No, it's okay. I tend to ramble on a bit. What is it ye be wanting to the answer for? It's a reasonable question. Well, the answers are all in front of you. You just have to decide if you want to go all the way down the tunnel or not. You sure? You don't look quite like a fellow who wants to know the truth. Well, never mind what I think. It's a simple choice. I can give you the blue pill, and you'll return to your previous life, remembering nothing of any of this. Or I can give you the red pill, but then you're in here playing for keeps. You sure? No turning back after this. All right then, down the hatch. The only thing that gets better is that by the end of the year, the new people who fall through the escalator won't get so grouchy about it. Fall in around November, and it's a lot more like a short rest vacation. Oh, the red pill. I was just kidding about that. It's a tic-tac. You should see your face right now. Sorry, I have an awful sense of humor. I do enjoy a good practical joke. I pulled off a few whoppers in my time. Well, I once convinced a friend that the sun had exploded. He was quite distraught. We were on a fishing trip together. Tiny island, no electricity. Now, I set his clock ahead several hours. When his alarm went off, he went out to fish and waited. Now, by the time his clock said 8 o'clock, he started shaking me awake and screaming, "Where is the sun?" No, of course, it was only 5 in the morning still. Listen, can I ask you an honest question? Okay, here it goes. This girlfriend of yours, why is it so important for you to find her? I mean, okay, the burnt photo, damsel in distress, etc., etc. I get it. But if you can't remember anything about her...
We'll always have this.
See? This is Lola's influence. It's starting to work. You feel it, right?
All you have to do is find your way back to me. Let's keep him as our pet. Let's keep him as our pet.
You two didn't even mean to capture it. It just flew into the empty bottle. Yeah, so you think maybe the goal of this whole ride is to return to that moment of innocence and capture the magic of that moment? Well, for your sake, I hope so. I think you know. You're like me. The past is the only place left for us. When we were young, we thought the past could only tie us down. Everything we wanted, freedom, lay ahead on the open road. Well, that was yesterday, and this is today. Now the past is all you've got, and the future is full of pain. Well, when we get to the warehouse, remember to keep an eye out for a firefly in a glass bottle. It shouldn't be hard to spot. They tend to keep that place pretty dimly lit. Oh, look. Looks like Vern started doing some advertising. I guess he's finally decided to take matters into his own hands. Normally, he's so stoic, letting things take their own course, never complaining. Well, he was just trying to help you. Seems like you can use it. You're totally infected with this frontier spirit, am I right? Always move ahead, always continue along the two-lane blacktop. Take the red pill, don't look back, right? Wrong. You don't know what you're dealing with here, young man. Maybe Vern exaggerates a bit, but at least he knows these parts. You should turn back here. No, I'm serious. Take the whole goddamn pack of Tic Tacs if you want. It's just Lola. Blast nothing. Someone changed the street signs. Him. He's been here. I swear it was the second left past the red house. But don't worry. Don't worry. We'll find it. It's right around here. No, it seems to have disappeared along with the car manual. I just want to find my dog. These streets all look the same. This is worse than falling down an escalator. Here, take this. See if you can figure out which way is east. Are you sure? I mean, look through it and see if it tells you which way is east. No luck, huh? Well, maybe it does something useful. Oh! Listen! She's starting to talk. Hopefully we can get out of this maze now and head on our way. Lola, dear, this young man and I, we're looking for... She's saying something. Something about you. A car crash? No. He's fine. Well, just look at him. She thinks you've caused some kind of accident. I can vouch for this young man, Lola. Well, he's been with me almost the entire afternoon. She says she knows who you are. And that she wants to help you. She's gathered these memory objects for a purpose, for you to put together, to bring you earthly knowledge, she says. Very peculiar. Well, isn't that something? It's alchemy, my boy. Art. A camera. Your means for turning water into wine, redeeming the past, renewing memories. Well, nothing needs redeeming more than the American suburbia. Now, am I right? Americana, where the surreal intermingles with the mundane. Here's your chance, my boy. Create a photojournal. Win some awards. Fireflies, sent directly from your memory, I suppose, to guide you. Oh, hello there, Lampiridine. Oh. Ho, 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 those sideburns. Don't let my students get a hold of that. I think they're not done yet. They want you to take more photos. They want to show us the way, but they can only do it through photos. Gee, I didn't notice him standing back there. Should we go back and pick him up? Who is that guy anyway? You don't sound very glad to see him. I think they're not done yet. They want you to take more photos. Trading post, huh? Interesting proposition. I expect you get something rather valuable in exchange for this particular camera. What? It can't... Ah, no! No! My dog! How? If I can't find her in the past, I don't have a chance of finding her in the future. Oh, that was just nonsense I said to cheer you up. I just want to find my dog. Is that a dog collared in the street? I suppose, but what's happened to her? She's invisible. She's lost in time since the warehouse closed its doors. That's it. Capture her with that camera of yours. Oh, you're a good dog, Hobbs. You ran past a funny mailbox through a door, and we'll find you, don't worry. We've got to find that house. That's the one. Hang on. Look, the silo. That's my house. Funny how you can come upon the very place you live and not even recognize it. All depends on the angle you... Hey! There's Hops! Thank goodness. Oh, I've almost got her back. Listen, I didn't realize the warehouse was closed, but we must do it again. Now you have to promise me, pinky promise, that we're going to meet again in a year, okay? This same spot. We won't exchange contact info or anything like that. We'll keep it old school. Meet here in 1 year's time. What do you say? Wise plan, young man. People like to say that you can't live in the past. Well, look at me. I'm living proof to the contrary. Look, your fireflies are back. Seems like they're waiting to give you one last memory. Hops, wait for me!
I just think it would be fun to ring the bell. I lived here my entire childhood. I feel like I have the right.
Sure, but we better make it quick. Lots of driving to do still.
Hello. What can I do for you two?
This is gonna sound funny, but...
Not at all. Come right in.
Oh, sorry. I've got to take this. To me, it's perfect here. I don't understand what's so great about our life in Seattle. Don't you ever think about making a change?
Sure, but this isn't the kind of change I had in mind. I get it. You grew up here, so it's your baseline of normal. But this just isn't my idea of an adventure.
Adventure. It's real here. It's a good place to grow up, to have children. At least it was for me. I can always find myself here. Same stars, same fence, same mailbox.
Hey, you need a ride someplace? Listen, I'm not your girlfriend. And I'm not your mother. But you'd better finish that pickle, or else I'm stealing it. Me? I'm a waitress, dummy. Waitresses have to be whatever people want them to be. Yeah, but not today. Don't worry. Thursday's my day off. That's okay. It's nice to sit on the other side of the counter for a change and see how the other half lives. This music, isn't it dreamy? I can tell we have some things in common. We both have to live by our wits. Hitchhiking isn't an easy trade. Waiting tables isn't either. I'll show you what I mean. Corned beef hash with 3 eggs over easy, whole wheat toast and hash browns. 2 eggs scrambled with bacon, sausage, English muffin, and french fries with mayo instead of ketchup. 3 eggs over easy with well-done bacon and a side salad, hold the toast, Greek omelet with well-done hash browns and white toast, a short stack of blueberry pancakes, coffees all around, and 1 Diet Coke. So, how many orders of toast were there? Only if you count the English muffin as toast. Otherwise, it's 2. Well, you must have been doing something right to have made it this far. I figure there's an art to hitching a ride. You have to be able to read people very quickly. Waiting tables is no different. You get to know what people want before they know what they want. It's a sixth sense. When I picked you up, with you it was easy. Your mind is an open book. Seeing you wandering through that street in the suburbs, clutching that strange blue box like a talisman, I could see that you needed a good rest, a good meal, and a dose of friendly advice from someone who's looking out for you. It's good you managed to lose Hops back there. Let me guess, did he try to make you promise to meet him again? Yeah, we've all made a few of those. This highway is practically paved with broken oaths sworn to Hops, patron saint of useless stuff. Let me guess, you chose the red pill just like me. He doesn't mean badly, Hops. He's just a bit stuck in the past. That's why he has all that junk in his car. Can't let go of anything. Can't change. People like to solve problems with the tools they understand. Hops thinks all the useful tools are in the glove box of his own memory. That's why it's good you got clear of him. He's a bad influence for someone like you. You need to let go to move on. I don't know, but driving in the rearview mirror will only get you so far. You can't live in the past. Well, judging by the faces in this place, you can't live in the present either. Look at these blue screen zombies. Everyone glued to their phones. Depressing. The living dead all around us. Not you two, though. You and your girlfriend. You were very much animated. Although, maybe not in a good way. That was some argument. Well, if it wasn't worth arguing over, it wouldn't mean anything, I guess. Well, I'm not one to eavesdrop. Something about text messages being present. The usual suspects when it comes to couple arguing somewhere in public in the 21st century. I only caught the end of it. It was one of those things that suddenly boils over. One moment you were sitting there having your strawberry rhubarb pie and trying to figure out where the next gas station is. The next moment, when I came back with your check, there was this big scene with you storming out the door. I just want to be sure there's no trouble on my watch. Like I said, it died down pretty quickly. She hung around for another 20 minutes, mainly talking on her phone. Then she got her stuff and left. Seemed like she was making a plan to meet somebody. Well, the way she was talking, it seemed very intent. And when I was wiping down the counter, I found this. Have a look. You might find it interesting. Weird, right? Gets weirder though. Check out the back. Seems like some kind of rendezvous. I mean, I figure that's not your card. Beats me. I just work here. Sorry, Copernicus. I've helped you all I can this time. Sure, I can drop you off there once we get out of here. Pass me the menu, will you? I want to see if they have the seasonal milkshakes in yet. Well. Aw, look at that. It's like a little map of your adventures. How convenient. Even your gas station is there. Did you notice? It's a typical sign, you know, of a lucid dream. Random happenstance, strange coincidence. This might be a good time to test if you have superhuman strength or can fly or something. I think I'll have peppermint mocha or vanilla caramel. Yeah, haven't seen our waitress in a while. Jeez, I'd kill for a shake right now. Well, things become real when we invest meaning in them. When we make them real. There's a poem about this. A guy is having an argument with his friend. He's freaking out because the meaning of every word, everything, every idea seems to be falling apart. After a while, I understood that talking this way, everything dissolves. Justice, pine, hair, woman, you and I. Exactly. Booth, menu, you, I, mustard, mustard. It all starts to dissolve. It's my day off reading. Well, he remembers this lover he had, and that helps him get his head screwed on straight again. Well, in a sense. It's more that he thinks back to what it was like when they were together, and the different memories come together and leave him with a sense of specificity. That things are real and not just a big pile of words and concepts and stuff that fall apart the moment you try to squeeze them tight. He thinks back to when he was a boy, and remembers this river where he would try to catch the little orange silverfish called pumpkin seed. That's nice, right? It feels good to say. Pumpkin seed. Makes things feel more real. Look at me. Don't forget me. See me for who I am. Pumpkin seed. You wouldn't believe how much people project their weird bullshit on me. It's the curse of the diner waitress. Less a real person and more a blank screen. Oh yeah, plenty of that. But also just these cliches people have with diners. I can't tell you how many swingin' dick Detective McGurks I've met in this place. Give me a coffee as black as a moonless night, darling. Shit like that. Are you sure about that? Or is that just what you want me to be? You don't seem to realize that you're the one pulling the strings in here. Well, everyone has an agenda. People think they come to a diner for food, but they're really looking for something much more profound. They want something, and at the end, they settle up. You bring the bill, and they have the chance to make good again. Everybody wants to be forgiven. It's a simple transaction. You're no different. Well, there's that box you're carrying around and want to get open. You're here looking for answers, but only the warm, cuddly kind. You're not going to hang in when it starts getting heavy. It's not just you. This whole modern problem of people not really being present, it's everywhere. And technology only makes it worse. Once the robot doubles started showing up, that was the tipping point. Robot doubles. The first models were so expensive, only Silicon Valley types could afford them, like electric cars. But pretty soon it got to the point where basically anybody could afford a robot double of themselves. You could pick one up at Walmart, one aisle over from the toilet paper and the firearms. Even the company that produces my cheap-ass phone started them. They claimed they were on a mission to disrupt the human space. I hate that word, disrupt. Pretty much anything you want, but there's where you have to be careful. It acts like you, but it only performs at about 70% of your capabilities. It's you, after a bunch of drinks. So, if you're smart, you only trust it to do really simple things for you. Go to the post office, jury duty, fill in for you at your boring job. But people are lazy. They grow dependent on their robos, use them for all kinds of things they shouldn't, making complex calculations, blowing up boulders. People send their robos off to be with their wives, their families, while carrying on affairs. Check it out. Imagine you and I are in a relationship. Then you notice I'm acting a little slow. My eyes aren't focusing quite right. Like this. Look. See it? You just need more practice. Then you'd realize that I just stuck you with a pile of bolts for the evening. Right, so here we are. Two dummies out on a date together. Would your robo be smart enough to know that I'd sent mine? Or would they keep it a secret between themselves? All kinds of ethical issues, right? I don't know. I know you're trying to make your eyebrows move weirdly just to mess with me. Did someone stand me up with a robo? No, not exactly. It's more about this thing that happened to me at work once. Come on here, dummy. In my former life as a flight attendant. Grab that thing and pull up a chair. I'll tell you all about it. You feel like a sack of bolts yourself doing these safety demonstrations. People are zoning out, staring at their phones like the blockheads in here, or else just leering at you like you're the first woman they've ever seen wearing a uniform. But you start getting good at spotting the doubles. They're often the only ones paying attention, staring at you with those not quite human eyes of theirs. Technically, no, they're not supposed to be there. But like I said, people bend the rules, and security rarely checks. They're fine on the runway, perfectly docile. But something goes wrong at altitude, something about the navigation system. The FAA wanted to study it, but the study got shut down because you're not supposed to have them on aircrafts in the first place. So yeah, I learned to spot them right away. It becomes a job requirement, a matter of survival. Here, try your luck. Have a look at the table. So, 1 mustard, fine. 3 mustards, not so fine. The one on the left is the real one. See if you can track it. Keep your eyes on the prize. 10 will get you 30. Uh-oh, you just accused Mr. Corporate Entitlement of being a robot. Unfortunately, it's really him. That's going to cost you 1 complimentary business class upgrade. Want to play again? Uh-oh, another irate customer. Look who you pissed off this time. You'll get it this time, okay? Very good. You have successfully enforced airline regulations. Want to play again? So, where was I? Pick that up again, and I'll show you what happened next. One time, we were doing a flight into Galveston, and we had a sudden drop of cabin pressure about 100 miles from our destination. No, but imagine this. Everyone's freaking out. I'm trying to help a girl with her arm in a cast to get her oxygen mask over her head. Suddenly, I'm aware of this Frankenstein monster lurching towards me. The robos, they're like an army of the undead. I don't know if they were affected by the sudden change in cabin pressure or what, but they just lost their shit. People are screaming, and we're huddled together like a band of villagers with pitchforks to fight these things, throwing crap at them from the drink cart, locking them in the toilets, and so on. Luckily, they started fritzing out on their own, like Hal in 2001 when his brain starts melting. Let me tell you, as soon as we got over water, adios! Out you go, robos! Threw them right out of the cabin doors. Maybe so. They're everywhere these days. I can see one in this diner right now, in fact. Can you find it? That's right, the king. Can you believe it? God, I miss the king. They say that it was the first robot double prototype ever made. He actually sent it off to act in some of those cheeseball movie roles he had. That's why they were so bad. Am I? Says the guy who called his own girlfriend a robot. I seem to recall you standing right there, complaining, it's like eating lunch with an automaton. You really don't remember anything? What you were fighting about? What happened next? Well, I've got a little game that might help you remember. It's kind of like a telephone seance. Ready? Hello? Is that you? This is your girlfriend, Mr. I'm not sure. Yes, it's me. I'm calling from beyond the grave. So, who are you with right now? Am I interrupting you? Oh, a waitress. Is she pretty? Maybe I am interrupting something. See, I told you this is a good game. Okay, so, I'm your girlfriend. Somehow, I'm not with you now, and you don't know why. Except, I am with you right now. That pretty much sum it up? No, this is my game. I get to ask the questions first. What's with this gas station you're trying to get to? What are you hoping to find there?
We need to get gas in a sec. Hey, stop it!
It's like we spend 1 year falling in love and the next 4 breaking up, right? What took so long? Were you just afraid of being alone? Or maybe you didn't want to be the guilty one, the one who blows things up and hurts me. Were you waiting for permission from me to end it? Waiting for me to give you... Exactly. Waiting for an excuse. What? You didn't want to break anything. You couldn't get over the idea that this great future we were supposed to have could just be wiped out. The beacon we'd always talked about, our light in the bottle, gone. You left it to me. Put it on me to do what needed doing. Well, I finally gave you the sign you were looking for, right over at that counter there. You guys need anything else, or you're okay for now?
We're fine, thanks. You do anything to make it different, right? To fix things. I can take you to that gas station, and I can be her for you. Together, we'll open the box. You can make it happen. You can make it real. What do you say? Miss the old times? Let me be her. Good. Now it's your turn. You can ask me one question, whatever you want. In trouble. It's cold here. The ropes. The man on the phone. Yes, the one I was texting when we were eating lunch. The man with many eyes. Yes, he has 10 eyes, like this. No. He wears them around his wrist, like a bracelet. Even while he sleeps, a few of them keep watch, their eyes open. He also wears an orange vest. Find the man with many eyes, and his friend, the man with mirror eyes. They're the ones who did this to me. Close your eyes.
Hey, where'd you go? It's like you went somewhere else there, having some irresistible dream. Good for you. You don't have to wake up, but we do need to pay the bill. Works for me. What's the sudden rush? Are you sure? If you're lucky, maybe she hasn't even gotten to the gas station yet. Well, the card has Thursday 4 p.m. written on it, right? That was 2 days ago. And need I remind you that today is... Yeah. If we leave now, we can beat her there by nearly an hour and find out who's waiting for her. Well, that's easy. If I'm made up to look like her, he'll give himself away as soon as we arrive. I have a few wigs in the car. Well, that's the thing. You'll be waiting in the car with my phone. You can call the police the moment anything looks funny. And like I told you, I'm an expert shapeshifter. Come on. Time to be forgiven. And time to hit the road. Time to pay the check so we can get out of here.
This thing about robots is chilling. It says that 60% of the workforce won't have a job in 20 years. Hey, can you put down your phone for 3 seconds? I'm trying to have a real human connection with you, and you're so tuned out. It's like I'm eating with a robot.
I'm sorry, I know. We need to get gas in a sec. You can tell me about it while we're in the car.
Would you put that thing away?
Hey, stop it! Come on, let go!
Who is that? Who are you writing to?
God, keep your voice down. Look, I've been driving for ages. I just need to space out a little.
A little? It's like you're a million miles away.
Can you just give me a break, please?
We were just taking a break, remember? Now we're back together, but I feel this is the last place in the world you want to be.
Well, that's what I'd call a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Ain't love grand? Come on, let's get out of here. How do I look? Good. I'm a very apt pupil. A very apt pupil. Here, take my phone. Call for help the moment something looks fishy. Shoot. Right. I did, yes. Right, it was her. Yes, and? Listen, there's something at the end of this road that you don't want to find. You do, and you don't. If you only wanted to find it, there wouldn't be all this conflict. Drivers lying to you, drugging you with raisins, all the little glitches, things that don't make sense, the static. It's hardly been a smooth ride, has it? I'm just saying, there are two sides to every story, right? The argument back at the diner, maybe there was something missing for her. Something missing between the two of you. Have you stopped to think for a moment about why you keep finding these photographs? Why they are so important to you? They're a way of capturing reality, right? They're objective, but they're also you. They tell the story you want them to tell. That camera of yours, it's a weapon too. Take a photo of me, and in the photo I'll never change. I'll never grow away from you. So what did you learn back there from your photo? Oh? Oh, you have my phone. Why don't you call it then? And you think he's also this man with all the eyes? Hey, you said he has 10 of them, right? Have another look at that card. 10 little eyes. See him? Freaky, right? Well, almost there now. Sorry, I don't think your next ride is going to be so comfortable. No free refills and pickles with your fries. Sorry, Copernicus. I might have used you a little like you used me. Let's just say, I'm not your girlfriend, and you're not my knight in shining armor. It's nothing personal, just a simple transaction motivated by self-interest. Nothing different than what you chose back at the diner. Maybe when you chose me to be her, ring a bell? There's a price to be paid for everything on this highway. The bill always comes sooner or later. Yes, he's almost out. We're pulling. I'll be handing him over in a sec. Hang on. There's a third car now. A Volvo. It's pulling up. What's that doing here? What the hell? Watch it, buddy.
Hello. Copernicus? Is that you? Let me guess. You've gotten yourself into some kind of jam. Swinging by your toes over a tiger cage? Locked in a trunk? That doesn't sound like part of your dream. How'd you manage that? Leah? Well, you only get what you deserve from her. Mind your manners and she's liable to bring you a free refill. Rub her the wrong way, and she might just spit in it. She wants to give us the benefit of the doubt, but we seem to be making it hard for her. Speaking of which, did you find the box, Copernicus? Have you opened it yet? Figure out a way to open that box, Copernicus. Inside, you'll find out who you really are. Don't mess with him, kid. He's the final gatekeeper. Way too strong. You need to learn the spell first, before you can go up against him. Hey, if I knew it, I'd tell you. But let's start by getting you out of that box. Lucky for you, I've got my Farmer's Almanac here. Let's have a look. Hang on. See, cabbage, caraway, carrot, car trunk. First thing you should do is reach around for the latch. Sounds kind of obvious. Okay, next step. See if you can scare up the brake lights. Can you find them? It's a little gizmo with some wires. Okay. Yank on the wires and try to pull the lights into the trunk with you. Got them? What color are the lights? We need a green light, kid. A steady green light. That's the way forward. Gotta run now. Good luck to you, kid.
ما أدري شو تسوي بسيارتي، بس من خبرتي بهذا المكان راح تسح بعدين. إنجليش. آسف، ما أدري هاي مو صدق، بس أنا أشعر بيه كاني من صدق حجة سعر. كل شيء هنا إلها دلالة رمزية، السترن، الجير ولا القرن على الدشبول. إيه معود على كيفك، أريد أوقف. I'm sitting here, my gaze is drifting over the horizon, and I lost my memory on the only way over to nowhere. And the tyrants race over the glowing asphalt, and I try to find an justicia. E quando sweet Lord you would have known עושים And I was very alone. Puedes pararte derecho. He oído que el cielo está tan bajo que no puedes pararte derecho. I'm sitting here, my gaze is drifting over the horizon. Memory on the only way over to nowhere. And the tires race over the glowing asphalt, and I try to find an image of you. And the sweet fireflies, they dance in the night. Temporis equipunas statis isia. Original. Ulica wygląda jak droga do horyzontu. Serais-tu la chimère revenue des enfers? Do przodu, gwiazdy na niebie świecą mi, gdzie ja Cię znajdę. Ja ciecę tutaj i jadę gdzieś do Ciebie. Borite navite tu horizonte over to nowhere. He oído que el cielo está tan bajo que no puedes pararte de él. He oído que el cielo está tan bajo que no puedo on my way back to you. I'm sitting here, my gaze is drifting over the horizon. I lost my memory on the only way over to nowhere. And the tyrants race over the glowing asphalt. How would I know? It's not even my car. No idea. I find myself behind the wheel here night after night. And the trunk, that's my dream too. You don't want to know how many hours I've spent in there, trying to shift my legs to keep them from falling asleep. What do you mean? Whose guard? Yours? Now I know you must be an English speaker. The only people in the world convinced that every story revolves around them. Who are you, anyway? I'm not sure actually. But here, it's funny. On this highway, everybody calls me Al-Shatir. Copernicus, huh? Suddenly, this doesn't seem so arbitrary. Never heard of Ibn al-Shatir? A famous astronomer. I guess you don't learn about him in your schools. One of the forefathers of astronomy. In many ways a predecessor to... Yes, that's right. Copernicus, Al-Shatir. Two iconoclasts from different lands who challenged the belief that the sun revolves around the earth. Two dreamers who had the conviction that their unique consciousness is not the only thing in the center of the universe. Maybe you're not just part of my story, like I'm not part of yours. You were trapped in the trunk, where I've been many times. It's like you've wandered into my dream, and I've wandered into yours. It takes a leap of faith, I know, to admit that we both exist. A man with many eyes? No, I've run across many strange things recently, but not that. From wars, from bombings, from the cockroaches that crawl out as soon as the dust settles. On the news, you hear only about armies and religious madmen, but it's the gangsters that drove me away. They're the ones who did this to me. The El Mahdi army. They called themselves an army anyway. They were looking for my brother-in-law because he worked as a translator for the US military. Neighbors warned us we should move, and so we did, twice. Yes, twice. No sooner had we moved the first time than neighbors started telling us that we should move again, that there were people looking for us. In the beginning, yes. A few years passed and we forgot about the threat. Life had returned to normal, and that's when they came back and picked me up. 2 days later, when I woke up in a Baghdad hospital, I found out that they dumped me off there and told the hospital that I'd hurt myself in a work accident. Yes, after that, I couldn't stay. The women in my family, my mother, my sisters, they were the only ones who knew. I was very close to the women in my family. They were the ones who were around all the times while I was recovering. The men, my father, my brothers, always working, always out of the house. I got on a plane to Istanbul, where my cousin lived. He took me to Izmir, where the smugglers are. They're easy to find. I bought a space on a vessel, headed to Mytilene, Greece, the closest harbor in Europe. Just a simple raft, but not as overcrowded as in some of the stories you hear. I was lucky, at least in the beginning. We couldn't leave for 5 days. Too many Greek army ships in the sea. Every morning, getting up at 3:30 to make a go of it. By the 5th day, I was so tired of waiting that I wasn't even scared to get on board any longer. Finally, impatience had overtaken fear. We did not make it to Europe. A boat pulls up next to us. People are trying to understand what's going on, but the men on the ship only speak Greek. At first, people are worried that it's pirates. They take everything from the passengers. Sometimes take the passengers themselves. Sometimes just ram the boat and laugh as it sinks. But no, these are police, it turns out. They take us back to Turkey, where I'm waiting, and waiting, and waiting. Of course, I did not remember all this in my dreams at first. These were things I remembered from clues I found along the highway. I've dreamed this highway, this car before, many times. It's a good question. I had an uncle once who left Iraq many years ago to study engineering at the University of Bowling Green. I guess this made an impression on me. Who knows why we dream the things we dream? What is your dream about? A breakup? That's it? Ah, that's more like it. Who has been kidnapped? Who's this person that's been taken away from you? Do you have a photo? Who knows? Maybe I've seen her somewhere along this highway. I know her, the same woman, but with different hair color. I just saw her at the gas station a few miles back. An imposter? But she waits tables at Dante's, right? I pulled in there because I was worried about engine trouble. Yes, that's right. She was standing with two men. It looked tense, like she was defensive about something, explaining herself. I don't think they fully believed her. One man was wearing an orange vest. He seemed to be in charge. Another shorter guy next to him. Mean looking, like a shrew. A trap? So they were looking for you? Sounds like getting in my dream, getting in the trunk, may have saved your neck. No, I didn't get a look. I just heard one strange thing they said, that they were looking for a guy with 8 fingers. They were going to find him. Something like that. 8 fingers. 8 digits maybe. Uh-huh. And you wouldn't happen to have a strange blue box with you, would you? That was the other thing they mentioned. They have the key, but don't want the box opened. No, I didn't get a look. Say, have you noticed how many tumbleweeds there are suddenly? I don't know, but the weather also seems to be turning suddenly. Turn on the radio and see if you can find a weather report. My God! Get that thing off the window! Get it off! Get it off! It seems to be changing the weather conditions.
Doctor says...
Sunny skies today, and we could hardly ask for better weather. A balmy 72 degrees with...
Suddenly, it's sunny. It's not working. They're stuck to the car. We need some other kind of weather to get clear of them.
The door. A girl with long red hair turns towards me, stepping on board. I follow the other passengers, 40 sloven old crones, into the foyer of the bus station, which is all concrete and closed ticket windows. The walls are papered with old timetables. The bus is clean and white among the other 50.
Level 3 thunderstorm. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Damaging winds are causing some trees and large branches to fall.
High-speed connectivity in this trend will only accelerate as 5G adoption grows and novel usage cases emerge.
Level 3 thunderstorm. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Damaging winds are causing some trees and large branches to fall. This could injure those outdoors, as well as damage homes and vehicles. Roadways may become blocked by downed trees. Power outages are possible. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Level 3 thunderstorm. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Damaging winds are causing some trees and large branches to fall. This could injure those outdoors, as well as damage homes and vehicles. Roadways may become blocked by downed trees. Power outages are possible. For your protection, move to an...
Warning.
Looks
Tornado
like
40
tornado
feet from
conditions
car.
now. Look, the tornado. It's starting to pull the tumbleweeds off the car, but it's not strong enough.
Tornado.
It worked. Oh, good riddance. Look, that was very strange, even for this place. I don't know. It seemed they were spying, searching for something. Did you notice? What do you know about these guys, the ones who are after you? Seems he had a few extra to spare for the tumbleweeds. I see. What else? Oh, let's see. Balkan tours? Not directly, no. But I've heard about them. From a guy in Istanbul I met. He had made it through to Europe, but then had come back to get his family. But that's another story. He had come across this Balkan tours on his way back from Serbia. He warned everyone about them who would listen. Apparently, they had a charitable program to help refugees, promising to help them. But no one who accepted their help was ever seen from again. People just disappeared. And it wasn't just people in the refugee community either. Tourists too. There were strange stories. Did she mention anything about these Balkan tours to you? Yes, I guess merely the fact that you ever saw her again suggests otherwise. Still, it seems like a connection. Well, I hope she hasn't fallen into their hands now. Some of the stories circulating around refugee camps in Serbia at this time. I only heard bits and pieces, nothing very clear. Mirrors, rooms full of mirrors. People losing their minds and never coming back. Yes, people who were heading from Turkey into Croatia and Serbia were being warned about it. Watch out for mirrors. Rooms full of mirrors. Rooms full of ice. Well, my friend, I think right now the best thing you can do is run for safety. They probably have a good beat on your location, assuming the tumbleweeds were on their payroll. Make no mistake, these guys are dangerous. Honestly, I have no idea. But tangling with Balkan tours right now would be suicide. I mean, it's what they want, isn't it? Right. Where did you get the box? They must be worried about what's inside. Worried it will expose them, all the things they've done, to her and to all the other people they've hurt. I wish I knew. Even if I make it to my destination, I'm still not home. That's what it means to be an exile. My niece, Nadia, used to ask me that question all the time. Where are you going, uncle? She was the only young person who knew I was leaving. Imagine, she knew when my father didn't. I was always mad at my sister for telling her. She would ask me that when I was putting her to bed. The only thing you can tell when a person that young asks you a question like that at bedtime. I told her the truth. Not the truth, but the truth wrapped in the blanket of a story. There's a place where the river Tigris runs through Baghdad. A place called the Two-Story Bridge. When I was a kid, I would go fishing there and look out at the water and wonder where it all led. As a child, I was told that the farthest place on the earth from Baghdad is a place called Fiji. I would train my eyes on the horizon and imagine that all the water led there, to the point where the sky met the earth. To my child's mind, Fiji was the place where the sky touches the earth. These people of Fiji, they must be very tolerant people to live in such a place where one has to stoop over at all times and can never stand up straight. Eventually, they resolved to leave and find a new home, where the sky was farther from the earth, where the pandanus tree can grow high enough to be woven. So they left this land right under the sky, leaving behind those people so old and bent that they no longer cared to stand up straight. The other Fijians gradually moved away from the edge of the world, and the sky got a little higher, and then they found a marvelous place. It was fertile and lush, with excellent weather, an orange tree for every backyard. But there was one problem: earthquakes. Terrible earthquakes, as frequent as rains during the springtime in this country. All because the sky was still close to the earth. When there's thunder, it echoes off the roof of the sky and causes the ground to break. But the Fijians adjusted. They built their entire civilization out of rubber. Rubber houses with rubber beds that would sway during the quakes, with rubber restraints that would hold the sleeping Fijians tight while they dreamed. But Nadia didn't want a bedtime story about that. She wanted a story about good and evil, the kind of story children like. So I changed it for her to be about a Fijian princess called Nadia, who finds the source of all the earthquakes. Yes, but it's a child's bedtime story. You can change the details as you go along. So, Nadia finds a dragon hiding under the earth. A dragon with a splinter in its toe, whose terrible roaring causes the earth to break. Nadia slays the dragon and saves the people by uttering a magic spell. Gonothi Seauton. Gonothi Seauton. It's actually Greek. Rolls right off the tongue, no? Okay, that was interesting. Can you say that again? All the mirror eyes closed. I'm not sure. I think something about closing eyes. Seems like it. And look, that's not the spell's only power. The card. There's a phone number on it now. Do you know what this means? I think you're ready to make a certain phone call. Ready to put your spell to use? Good. Do you have a phone? Even better. So, here's the plan. You call them and tell them you want to sign up for a tour. Here's the thing. If they act like they're taking you on a tour, everything is good. But if they've figured you out, they'll try to distract you while they kidnap you. Take it from me. They tell you someone you care about is in danger, but don't believe it. If everything's fine, then everything's fine. But if someone you know is in danger, it's a trap. Get out of there. Are you ready? Dial the number.
Yeah. Yep, what can I help you with? That's a big park. You near the Argus gas station on Route 90? Alright, I'll pick you up in an hour. You don't have a car, do you? Just guess from your voice. So, see you in an hour. Don't worry about that. I'll be waiting for you once you land.
So, it worked then? Isn't that how these things normally work in the stories of this country? Other characters shows up, imparts some hard-earned wisdom, then conveniently fades away. It's a few minutes before 3:30 in Istanbul. There's another raft waiting. Another try. Thanks. To you too. I think you'll be fine. You have allies all along this road, even in the cars of enemies. I've left something for you.
Hey, sorry I haven't written in a while. Hey, sorry I haven't written in a while. It took me all morning just to figure out where to buy stamps here. So, I'm sending you something from my trip, like I promised. Last week, I was at yet another barbecue. People here really enjoy their pork chops, let me tell you. There was this old-timer there, the host's father. He was talking about inflation during the war years. He ran upstairs to get something he was excited to show me. He comes back down with a 50 billion dinar bill. He starts talking about, at the time they printed it, inflation was so bad that in the morning it could buy one sandwich. By lunchtime, it could buy half a sandwich. It's a beautiful piece of printing, don't you think? All these O's lined up next to each other. Anyway, keep it tucked away for safekeeping. The big piece of news on my end is that yesterday, I finally tackled my fear of heights. Your humble correspondent from the Balkans went hang gliding. Yes, me. Hard to believe, I know. I wasn't gonna do it, but this tour guide guy I met talked me into it, facing my fears and all that. But then the tour guide takes me to the hill where they do the hang gliding, and they're talking about the most crazy thing that happened the week before. You're not going to believe this. It's a tandem dive, so they have you strapped in with an instructor, right? Well, last week they strapped someone in, but the instructor forgot to strap himself in securely. They go running off the cliff and the instructor tumbles down the hill. The instructor was okay, just some bruises. But now the other person is stuck up in the air with no idea how to fly the thing. Everyone on the ground is freaking out, yelling instructions up in the air about what to do. The girl said later that once she got over the initial terror, it was like she'd been flying a hang glider all her life. It It must have been exhilarating, conquering that first wave of fear. And once you're up there, it is amazing. The best thing is that you look down and there are these tiny white cotton ball things on the ground, and then you realize they're sheep. It's not so hard to steer either, once you get the hang of it. Today, when I was looking for stamps, I bought one of those inspirational refrigerator magnets in a tourist shop. It says, "Do one thing every day that scares you." I know you think this kind of thing is cheesy, but I actually think it's profound. I hope we can do stuff like this on our road trip together. Can we? Sometimes I hate how we live in Seattle, just sitting around in our own heads all the time. I feel like it's the reason we've been arguing more lately before I left. If you don't shake the fear out of your system on a regular basis, it curdles up into anger. I don't want to be angry. Well, time for your idealistic correspondent to sign off. I'm so used to writing emails that it hurts my hand to write a real letter now. How sad is that? But I promise to write more often. And what about you? I don't expect a real letter, but an email would be great. How is everything going? How did it go with that California assignment? The thing about grape farmers? That was this week, right? I miss you. I feel a little nervous about coming back home to you, but a little nervousness is nothing to worry about. That's what I've learned here. Fear is the mind killer. Love you.
Geez, there you are. Nice of you to grace us with your presence. I've been looking all over for you. You were supposed to be waiting by the post office, remember? Look, we've all got a lot on our minds since the accident. I don't have time to drive all over Mankato looking for you. Barely gotten any sleep since it happened. Duh, the accident, right? She's in the ICU being evaluated for something called sub-fucking-arachnoid hemorrhage. So, yeah, she's great, dude. Never been better. What? Hang on. Shut up. This isn't just any kind of phone call. Yes. No. I know. No, he turned up eventually. Yeah, he's sitting right here. Do you want to talk to him? Should I put him on live with you? No, I didn't think so. Yes. Okay, I'll wait then. What? It's called a headset. It's a good way to not wreck your car while you're using a phone. Something I would think you'd be very invested in at this point. Look, it was an accident, I know. Sorry. But you just don't pull a phone out of someone's hand while they're behind the wheel. You should have known better.
This is Skycam from KTOE, reporting to you from Mankato. For those of you heading south on I-169 on your commute,
Copernicus,
expect some delays
What?
around the Route 42 junction.
don't say anything. He can't hear me. Only you can. Listen, don't say a word. Do you have that locked box? If you do, roll down the window as a sign.
Hey, do you mind? I'm trying to listen to this.
A minor fender bender, perhaps.
It's okay. You can close it now. No point in making him angry over nothing. Okay, good. You can't let these guys get a hold of that box. He may even have the key on him, this guy. They're taking you to her, but you have to be careful. You need to figure out how much they know.
To the hospital. Is this funny to you? Because it's not to me. Do you really want to go there? You really want to talk about this? Now? Of all moments? Fine. Listen, I know that she wasn't honest with you, that she couldn't bring herself to be straightforward about her feelings. I know it hurts you, man, but you two'd been growing apart for a while. In the end, she just wanted to be with someone more dedicated. That's the direction she was growing in. It didn't happen overnight, but the trip to Europe and meeting Craig, yeah, that was a big part of it. Oh, is that what you tell yourself? That all this is somehow his fault? Fine, whatever. Yes, we're all working against you. Are you satisfied now? Because this is hardly the time to bring your hurt feelings out onto the stage. Can I tell you something? You're a great photographer, I mean, nobody doubts that, man. But at some point, if people keep screwing you over, keep betraying you, at a certain point, if everywhere you go, people keep being assholes to you, well, guess what? Maybe you're the asshole. The radio? Sure, go ahead.
Copernicus, there's no time to lose. You have to act quickly now, before he puts that helmet on again. Use this bell. Stop him.
What? Yeah, know thyself. That's what I'm talking about. Gnathi Seaton. Greek for know thyself. That's a good start. I know you've had a rough 24 hours, but we all have. I mean, she's my sister after all.
He's lying.
Hang on again, I gotta get this. Yeah, I'm here. We'll be there in just a few minutes. Yeah, he tried it just like we expected. Nah, I'm fine. Yeah, I agree. It's time to call his bluff.
Step on the brake. Stop him. Do it. Step on the brake.
Ah, what are you doing? Let go. Visiting hours are until 7, so yes, you'll get a chance to see her. Visiting hours are until 7, so yes, you'll get a chance to see her.
She thinks you've caused some kind of accident.
That was some argument.
You two came by my house, yes? See, that's my silo, there in the background. You two came by my house, yes? See, that's my silo, there in the background.
So I'm sending you something from my trip, like I promised. I wasn't gonna do it, but this tour guide guy I met talked me into it. So, I'm sending you something from my trip, like I promised. Here's a security deposit. I'm going away for 2 months. I'll be back before you know it. It's great, right? I'll send you something special from Europe to put inside. It's a beautiful piece of printing, don't you think? All these O's lined up next to each other.
The argument back at the diner, maybe there was something missing for her.
Find the man with many eyes. They're the ones who did this to me. He has 10 eyes. He wears them around his wrist, like a bracelet.
Help me! Save me from this man! Help me! Save me from this man!
Oh, please, I think you flew into the bottle on purpose. What are you, the public defender to all things living?
Fireflies can't talk. Someone has to speak up for him. If the 6 tiny mittens don't fit, you must acquit.
Yeah, I'll set it free in a minute. I just think this light is incredible.
Let's keep him as our pet.
Now is being cruel. I think I'll always remember this.
This is one of those nights, right?
One of what nights?
We'll always have this. If you ever get to a point where you feel like you've lost me, all you have to do is find your way back to here and sit down beside me.
I hope the grass isn't so wet next time.
I'm serious. Write a note to your future self and put it in this bottle. If there's ever a point where things have gotten totally screwed up between us, that moment isn't real. This one is. All you have to do is find your way back to me.
What if I can't find the way?
That's why I've made you this beacon. A bottle with a green light to show you the way. Sense of direction isn't exactly your strong suit, Copernicus. Let's make a pact. With this honorable firefly as witness. I promise my screwed up future self won't mess this up for us.
I don't know. My future self can be a real jerk.
Mine too. We're going to make mistakes. Hurt each other. Everyone does it. So, time traveler, what news? What wisdom do you bring from the future?
That it's never too late. That any mistake can be fixed.
Good, if that's what you believe.